Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers knockoff review. Today I'm looking at the KBB Deformation Detective. This is by Kubianbao. I think that's how it's pronounced. Thank you very much to Tan Lee Seng, who's trying to help me with my pronunciations because they are pretty abysmal. Anyway, this is Detective. It is an oversized version of Age of Extinction Hound. Was Hound in Age of Extinction? Was he a detective? I know he had that kind of detective vibe about him in the G1 cartoon. Didn't really get that vibe from him in Age of Extinction, but hey ho, let's go. We've got a massive great box here with some demolition in the back there, broken down buildings. And on the back of the box we have alloy parts. We've got the front of the cab there and we've got some of the chest section. We've got a picture of him in his bot and his vehicle mode. And we do have a small bio, which definitely reads a lot better than the Wage Young bio that came with the other version of Hound. If you want to see that video, that's just down here, if you want to click through to that link. Again, that was a pretty good Hound, but this is a beast of a bot. Let's crack him open. Here he is out of the box, and he really is a beast. He looks incredible. They have gone to town with this guy. The levels of detailing and colour is glorious. Again, this is aged at ages 6+. I personally think that's too young. Don't get me wrong, my son is 7. He'd probably have a great time with this. It's big and chunky and it's not going to break. But just with that level of detailing and expertise gone into it, it really does strike me more as an adult collectible as opposed to a child toy. He is freaking massive. He is a huge, chunky monkey bot. Just to give you an idea of just how big he is, here is the official release of the figure. This is the oversized version, and this is the, I suppose, leader class version, I guess. If you notice what I've done with the official version, I actually removed the hand plates. You're probably already all aware of this little mod. You can add some heat to these hands, like using a hairdryer or something, and the guards literally just slide straight out, and the pad that's attached to the hand literally pegs straight in to those legs. Just kind of keeps it nice and tidy and frees up the hands. My son's going to get the oversized version once I've finished this review, and he wants me to do the same mod just with this. Again, just put a hairdryer on these, slide this plastic out, and the nubbin which attaches it to the hand is exactly the right size to slot into those panels on the legs. Here's a quick scale comparison with some other bots in his sort of size range. So I mean, he is a pretty good leader-sized figure. Again, here's one for any of you that have the oversized Evasion. I think that's who I'm going to display him with. I think that's a really good size. And for you masterpiece collectors, here he is alongside the mighty Make Toys Gundog. Now, initially when I saw this guy up on Sir Toys, I thought, oh, they've just made an even bigger version of the oversized. Then I discovered it was a different manufacturer. And then I discovered that actually they'd pumped in a lot of extra detailing, they'd added parts to the transformation, and they'd made him pretty darn awesome. Let's take a closer look at that face sculpt. There's a lot of detailing in there. For a kid's toy, that's a very human-esque face. Lovely paint applications on the eyes there. He's got his bullet hanging out, which very much resembles a cigar. Got a lovely metallic beard. In fact, it actually looks a lot like me. You will notice that the helmet is only half painted. I don't really understand why they've done that. I thought that would have all have been green as well. Very unsure as to the reasoning behind that. It just looks slightly out of place considering the paint applications and the colouring of the rest of the figure. The bullets are a really crisp, shining gold. We've got these big grenades here. As you can see, they've also blown up and oversized the Dr. Wu vest. that you can get as well. I thought no way have they made that stretch onto this figure, but no, they've included a pretty much identical version of it, just increased its size and mass. We've got these lovely bullets on the arms there. He's got some real heft to him as well. There is die cast, as previously mentioned, and it really does add to his bulk. Got some lovely grenades on the back there. These sections behind the arm, this is a whole new section. It's a hinged area which allows these sections, which were formerly attached to the hands, to now hang to the back of the shoulders, which in my opinion is a much better option. We go down to the hands, they're completely been replaced by these hands. Although you do still have the groove on the inside, but they've put a little bit here to make it all that much better. Let's just bring in the other figures to get that face sculpt. Here's the original, just to give you an idea of what sort of mess Hasbro made of the face. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And even the oversized version, which I absolutely loved, even his face now looks pretty derpy in comparison. Right, now let's cover what's actually included in this set. We get your standard oversized detective, you get his vest which comes with him, you get these grenades on the top and the bullets. Everything is packaged separately in there, it's all detached and you have to put it all together yourself. It's very straightforward. Literally just a few tabs together and just throws over. We get lots and lots of weaponry. The paint applications on the gun are pretty basic, but it's pretty effective nonetheless. Got some nice grenades there hanging off the belt. You can still stick his knife on him there. Got guns in his boots. Really, really armed to the teeth. Now, we have the large gun that comes with him as well. Again, same sort of paint applications, kind of a gunmetal, I guess, which is convenient for guns, I guess. I still have not got a Scooby-Doo how to get this on his back. I've seen loads of people displaying it with it on his back. I don't know. I really don't know. I thought maybe this could go in here. I don't know. That's really high up or behind the shoulders. I honestly don't know how to store it on his back. I guess you can. I've seen pictures of it sitting on his back. If anybody does know, it's probably glaringly obvious to you all. I just cannot for the life of me figure it out. Right, another very welcome addition to this figure over the previous versions is the ability to look up and down. His head is actually on a ball jointed socket, so we've got some tilt there as well. It's not a great range of motion, but it's certainly a lot more than just the standard rotation that the other figures came with. I mean, just have a little bit of a tilt on the head really does add a lot of character to this figure. The shoulders, now that they have this section on here, are they any more hindered? Not really. Now, these are a combination of friction joints and soft ratchets. We do get a fair good range. I can see that this joint may get a little bit looser over time. At the moment it's nice and stiff, but just be wary of that. The upper bicep does rotate just below that grey area where the bullets are, and we still have a nice bend at the elbow. We can maneuver the bullets around to get a very good range. You really want just one more click there just to hold that arm up. Unfortunately, that's as far as it goes. You do actually have a double joint on there, but it won't quite click up enough to make full use of it. Now, although we have these new hands, we still can't make use of any wrist rotation. They've kind of locked this section into place. I'm not super happy about that. The guns can rotate in the actual hand and he still grips them really well, but I would have liked some rotation on that wrist. Maybe we can get like replacement hands from a third party. Did third party make things for knockoffs? I have no idea. The waist underneath the belt there, it still does turn, and you do get an ab rocker forward and back, although that is part of the transformation. It's designed to be clicked in. The leg can come all the way forward. Very ballerina-esque there, Hound. Well done. And he's got a nice deep bend at the knee. And we do get these pivoting toes. The base of the foot doesn't move. We have ratchet thighs, but they do have a very wide stance on them. Again, I'm not a big fan of that in a figure. I'd like there to be a little bit of an in-between. They always put really big gaps between the thighs. We have an upper thigh rotation as well. And as for movement backwards, we can get a little bit. It's exactly the same as we got with the original figure. You've got very little clearance at the back of the legs where it goes up. It does hit against the crotch area. But I mean, considering the size of the guy and the way he's shaped, his gunslinging poses do look incredible, don't they? Now, unfortunately, the downside to a figure like this is we have to take his vest and his weaponry off him to transform. Boo! Here he is without all of his armour and without his body vest. He looks naked without it, doesn't he? Right, small disclaimer before we start transforming. He's made of a very good, very solid plastic. I am a little bit wary of these joints here, though. They are pinned, and it does feel a little bit weak around this area here. So that's just something to bear in mind. It's a single pin that goes through there, and it just doesn't scream professional finish to me around those joints. Everything else is solid as heck. I have been warned as well to be careful of these new sections that they've brought in. Apparently they could, a big could there, could possibly break as well. At the end of the day, it's not the most expensive of figures out there on the market. What you pay is what you get. But yes, just be wary of those areas. Right, let's start to get him transformed. We'll lift this section up and lift this section up. Come around to the feet. We're going to turn these toes around to the side, and these legs are going to plug in together nice and firmly. Let's move his arms upwards to the sides like that, and this section here and here are just tabbed in. You want to just pull these sections away, releasing this side chest, and that's going to come down to the side. Just taking a look at these arms, you want to rotate this arm around because this is going to bend upwards, and now that that's bent up, you can rotate the bicep around, and that then allows these two sections here to line up and tab into place. Grabbing hold of his crotch, you want to just unplug this and lift this section upwards like so. Untab this front section, that's going to pull down. We can lift up that head section, open up these, and this head section is going to bend in, and that's going to tuck away nicely. Make sure the wheels are tabbed clear, and push that head onto the underside. Collapse this waist section underneath so that this section here is now nice and flat. Make sure that the bicep section is collapsed inward. Make sure these green sections are lipped over and tabbed together. You're going to want to extend this section fully, bring it down, and then we're going to bring in these side sections. Make sure the feet are out of the way. Bring in the side sections, and that's all going to hook in and hide away nicely, just tidying all of that up like so. Make sure the green section is tabbed in on both sides. Bring this down, and then we can just tab this back section in, just several tabs along here, several tabs on this side. Everything tidied up nicely, and then the green section that was now attached to the shoulders just literally lips around the back end here, securing it all firmly and tidily into place. Now that is a really nice, beefy, alt mode. There's so much weight in the front section here. Really nice use of the tinted glass there. You got some nice side mirrors. Could do with some stickers on there maybe. But it feels like a very solid, angry toy. I've got some paint blemishes on the wheels there. Look like some of the black is missing. You've got some nice tread on those as well. A little bit of gold accents throughout there. Some nice lamps on the front. Looks like a very sad face there, doesn't it? Ooh. It's a pretty darn special looking alt mode. I like that. Go around to the other side. Really chunky. Now, of course, we can add weapons to it as well. We can store some on the side there, but it doesn't look very good at all. I'm not a fan of that in any way, shape, or form. I think it looks silly. And not to mention, the knife is really wibbly wobbly. It doesn't want to stay in there. Never liked it on the original, especially don't like it on this. Because the figure is actually really good, and the alt mode looks good, paint applications are smooth, all by the wheel. I think it just looks silly, them adding this feature on. I just don't like weapons on vehicles. Once again, for scale comparison, here he is with the Oversized Lockdown, aka Bandiform. That's a very good scale indeed. I like that a lot. And for those of you that don't have any of the oversized figures in your Age of Extinction collection, here he is with the Black Knight Optimus Prime. That's a pretty good scale. And here he is with Go-To Smokescreen, my good old reliable masterpiece. Again, that's a scale I think actually works pretty well. I didn't want Age of Extinction masterpiece-esque shelf. Obviously, I got the oversized Armor Knight, which I reviewed yesterday, and thoroughly enjoyed him. And then I got this guy out of the box as well, and I thought, ooh, actually, he's pretty darn good as well. I'm going to have a substantially big shelf if they keep going the way they're going. I really am, because these figures are genuinely very, very impressive. So, to summarise, we're getting a very good, very strong, very solid, robust vehicle mode for Hound. We're getting a very good bot mode. The bullet vest and all of the weapons really do make this guy. It's nice to see that fantastic detailing on the face sculpt. It's incredible. It really is. I was looking at some of the pictures from the movie, and it's a pretty darn good likeness, considering this is in essence just a knockoff company. They've upscaled a figure, they've added a little bit here and there. I love the piping that goes throughout to allow these rear sections to attach to the shoulders as opposed to the hands. That's a very nice touch. And it's nice that they KO'd a third-party vest, because Dr. Wu did deliver when it came to the vest. It was a very, very good purchase, and they've included that with this as a standard piece. Now, of course, they've done the same thing with the Combiner Wars Megatron KOing the DX9 kits that have kind of got a bit of a name for themselves. They did the same with the Evasion Optimus Prime KOing the DX9 God Jinrai kit. So, who knows what these guys have planned next. Whatever it is, I'm in. Thanks again to the guys over at Sir Toys. If you like this figure, click the link in the description below and it'll take you straight through to the product page. And as for my next review, I'm going to be reviewing something from Wei Jiang. You have a choice. Would you like to see the oversized Optimus Prime trailer? Or would you like to see their very own Combiner series in the form of their Fire King? Vote up by hitting the little information button up the top here. I'll give you the choice of the two, and whoever gets the most votes will be the next review. Thanks again for watching, everyone. If you found the video useful, give it a big thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, from myself and the detective, goodbye.